Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are watching us tonight. We are live down under in Australia in Mount Panorama as I've seen both in practice and in this free practice session, chaos will reign supreme. Who will survive? Who will win? Will anybody make this race without having to do an extra pit stop? We'll find out in the next few moments, but for now we have some interviews lined up today. I got two different drivers from 3 different classes, so 6 in total, and the first one that's going to be joining us is from the Pro Division. He is the hot new rookie sensation from Springfield Motorsport, Max Power. How are you today, sir?
Hey, I am good. Thanks for asking.
As I said, you are just the hottest rookie sensation next with Norris and with Frederick Ma. Do you feel any pressure as a rookie to keep this continued success?
A little bit, but not too much, to be honest. Like, my goal is like being in the top 5 in the end. Like, it's a long season. I want to be consistent. So a little bit of pressure, but also trying to not put on like too much pressure.
As we're watching on board right now with Neil Kerbrel, who just happens to be your teammate, what is it like having a pro teammate as well as because a lot of teammates are in kind of different divisions, like with Nairati and Brees, who we'll be bringing on later. That Nairati is a pro and Brees is a amateur. How does it feel having that pro and kind of pro experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a very different experience than having somebody who's much slower than you, which I had in the last league race. That was like seconds of pace difference. Neil and I were like extremely close, and we can just exchange setups, practice together. Like we yesterday just ran tests on the track together and can just follow each other around to see how the car feels when you have arrow wash and all that stuff. And he's just fun to talk to and be on Discord with. So yeah, we enjoy that.
And I think 2 more questions, and then I'll boop you back so you can actually get some more practice time. How are you feeling going into this race? Because a lot of the drivers, as you can see from my timing board, there's timings everywhere across the board. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, so this is one of my least favorite tracks to race on, because it's really not about lap time as much as it's about how often do you have to go into the pits to repair. You can be like a second faster, but that doesn't mean that you come in ahead of that person. It's just more about consistency and not binning it and not getting involved in any accidents that other people cause. So
what's your strat? Obviously, your strategy during the race is probably take it fast, but not fast as much. So in qualifying, are you going to get a banker lap in and then try and go full out, or are you just going to go full out and just see what happens?
Yeah, I do the usual. I'll just play it safe in the first lap. The first hard lap's usually not as fast anyways, because the tires are not 100% at temperature, so getting a time down, just have this like pressure off your mind that you haven't had a lap yet, and then just improve on each lap.
All right, thank you so much for joining me for this interview. I will put you back into the ACC lobby, and good luck at the race tonight.
All right, thanks for having me.
No. There he goes. There goes Max Power. He will probably get back on track for the next few laps. Let's see. Is the wonderful... Oh, he's actually out on track. Oh, no, Brees is not on track. We're going to pull him in now that he's not on track. Ladies and gentlemen, from Team On The Rush, who has had very much trouble this season, we're going to pull in Braden Brees, car number 666. Hello, Braden Brees. Pleasure to meet you. How are you feeling so far about this race tonight? Like, what is your biggest prediction so far?
My greatest prediction is that there's going to be a lot of carnage.
From what I've seen, no one's immune to the spins. Even Stavko, the reigning world champion's not immune from the spins at Mount Panorama. I will discuss this with your teammate as well when I bring him in when he's not out on track. Well, he just popped into the pits, but he can wait. You guys have struggled this season after an amazing start. Are you hoping that Mount Panorama is your bounce back, or are you just looking to survive this race?
My goal is to survive. Honestly, I am not confident in this track, but I'm going to race my hardest and just try to get through it.
Power in the interview just before, you said it's not as much about like getting the fast lap time, it's about not going into the pits every other lap to repair the car. So, when it comes to qualifying, are you just gonna go flat out bee's knees, or are you gonna try and get a banker in and then go flat out?
I'm gonna get a banker in and then send it just so that I have a time in. But me sending it is most of their banker laps anyway.
Um, with that being said, what are you hoping for ideally in this case? Like, are you hoping?
Ideally hoping for a podium in class at least, but we'll see what happens.
Well, currently, right now, you're sitting in that podium in class. Are you? What is your lap time? You are sitting
At a
2:06.
2:06.852.
I would be running faster than you. The only person that I'd be behind currently is Ches in the amateur division. But either way, good luck. Team on the Rush definitely needs a bounce back, and I'm hoping you guys find it this race. I'm gonna
Thank you.
bring you back. I'm gonna bring you back to the lobby and pull in your teammate.
Thank you. Good luck on the stream.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And there he goes, and we are gonna bring in. From also Team on the Rush, the other pro driver in the category, we are going to bring in Mitchell Nairati. Hello, Mitchell Nairati. Thank you so much for joining us today. I understand that you had a lot of technical difficulties during the season with your headset, and that you're driving a single monitor today. How are you going to be looking to, like, I guess, continue, hopefully not having issues?
Well, I think the main source of the issues is gone. The software that was helping run the VR with ACC is no longer going to be used, obviously with the VR not running. So the crashing issue should get taken care of in terms of the software. Now, in terms of crashing in the walls of Bathurst, is a completely different story. But yeah, we'll see what we can do today.
As I said with Brees, who just came in before you, that Team on the Rush absolutely got really, like, the first race was a definite bounce back after last season, but then last season has kind of reared its ugly head and come back with a vengeance. Is Mount Panorama going to be that bounce back race, or is this kind of just like a test of survivability here?
I mean, we're certainly hoping so. You know, like, this is obviously going to be one of the more difficult tracks in the entire game, and this was basically the Nordschleife of ACC before they added the Nürburgring 24-hour circuit. But I really think that, you know, if we can really put our heads down, then this can be the crucible of our return if we can manage to keep things right, and especially keep it out of the wall. But, you know, it's going to be a lot of trust in not only ourselves, but our fellow drivers to keep things clean in order to finish this race.
Power, who I brought on first, said this race isn't really about the fastest lap time. It's more trying to avoid going into the pits to repair your car every other lap. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. As we know that ideally the one stop is the play in this discipline, because you only ever need the tires and the fuel, and if you do have to repair for damage once in a race, it's not necessarily the end of the world. But if you have to go in 2 or 3 times, then you're going to be starting to look near the back of the grid, even though you might be a quick driver, and then yeah, it's going to be hard to score points from back there.
Now, I asked this question of Power, what is it like having a pro teammate who's about the same time as you? And he said it's really helpful because they're pretty much the same lap time. They can share strategies. But what is it like for you having an amateur teammate who's not as fast as you are?
It's definitely a unique dynamic. It's one where we obviously talk a lot about before the races, and I started mentoring him back when we played the F1 esports games, and it's really a little bit about coaching and being a mentor in terms of technique, but then also us still, you know, being adults and grown men. Is I want to give him his distance, let him figure certain things out himself. But it's definitely helping him acclimate to the new car, the new season, the new discipline in general compared to open wheel racing. And I found that he's found a little bit of comfort in GT3 and sports car racing, but obviously that is very week to week when he can have his good stretches and his not so good stretches.
So obviously you're gonna hope for a good one. What are you predicting for this race? What would be, I guess, your ideal situation?
Ideal situation and what I'm expecting are 2 different stories. Ideally, I'm in the top 5, but between the fact that I've gone to pancake mode from VR, it is definitely quite a different feel. And though my lap time is not bad, I definitely don't feel deserving of my pro title at the point. I feel like I don't have the pace. Without the awareness of the VR and having the free range of motion with my head, I'm not sure whether or not I'll have the awareness in terms of close wheel-to-wheel racing. So for me today, it's about earning the title and proving to myself and proving to my companions that I still deserve to be in pro.
All right, thank you so much, Narati. I'll send you back, and good luck this race.
Thank you.
All right, between McGavin and Hermione. All right. So we're going to bring in 2 Pro-Am drivers. We're going to bring them at the same time, but we'll interview them one by one each. First, we're going to bring in Shooter McGavin. All right, Shooter, you're in. Just give me 2 seconds. Now I got to pull Hermione. Is he not in there? Nope, there he is. You're both off track, so I'm going to grab you both at the same time. All right. I'd like to welcome Shooter McGavin and Hermione into the broadcast booth. Currently, they are both off track as it stands right now, so we're going to bring them in both at the same time. Hermione McGavin, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
McGavin? Oh, I guess he's not here. All right, well. In the meantime, I'll just interview you, Hermione. Obviously, you're now in the Pro-Am category. I think I've had you on once or twice before. What's it like driving Mount Panorama?
It is. I think the best way to describe it, it feels like the track is trying to kill you as well. Like, it's out to get you. There's so many places that it's easy to lose the car. It is very tricky, and yeah. Because of that, not the biggest fan, but it's a challenge, so at the same time, it's kind of fun.
Now, you don't have a teammate as of right now. You're a solo driver, so this question's difficult to ask you because, like, you don't have a teammate that's
Okay.
either faster or slower. So, like, I guess my question to you is, how do you prefer having a teammate or not having a teammate?
At the moment, I am perfectly fine being solo. In some future seasons, I might look into that, but at the moment, I am more like, I have my livery, I want my livery, because if I'm in a teammate, I need to, like, have some, co-decision. I don't want a co-decision, I want my livery.
Fair enough. As Nairati slams the walls because he goes too far inside. I've done that before. As you said, this track is trying to kill you at any moment's notice. And how does that affect you, I guess, mentally as a driver?
It makes me be slower, I would say, because I don't feel as confident to push, because I know if I just push just that little bit too much, I will be into a wall and I need to repair the car for like 2 minutes. It very makes me be very more cautious almost in every part of the track to make sure that I survive, because it's, as one video guide that I watched said, basically, you have no small incidents in this track. If you have an incident, it's a big one.
Powers actually said that this race isn't really about lap time, it's about survival. Do you agree with that?
Yes. I think this would be the equivalent for an F1, something like Baku or Monaco, for example. This is one of those where, yeah, if you survive, you're probably gonna have a good position in the end.
What are you expecting from this? Like, realistically, what do you expect to get, like, today? Because you're currently sitting in a podium Pro-Am position.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I would like to stay. Realistically, I would prefer to beat Leong. That's my personal goal. I would like to, McGavin may be a bit out of reach, so if he keeps a clean race, then I think the best I could get would be second in Pro-Am. So I'm aiming for that, for if the race is standard and there are actually no incidents type of thing. But
oh, there will be incidences. The stewards are going to be very sad.
Yeah, but I don't want to bring and foreshadow any bad luck to anyone or myself. So if it is a clean race, yeah, second in Pro-Am will be good for me. I'll be happy for that, because McGavin seems a bit out of reach for me. Everyone else I can battle.
Alright, thank you so much for money. I will send you back to the ACC lobby, or if they're not there, wherever you need to go otherwise.
Yes, thank you.
I hope Shooter is at some point going to come back on the mic, so that way I can interview him.
I'm right here. Hello.
Oh, hello, McGavin. As we send Hermione back to the lobby, I pulled both of you in because you were both off track, so that would be easier. And I'm like, well, hello, Hermione. He's like, hello. I'm like, hello, McGavin, and just silence.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
It's all good. How are you? How are you feeling about driving Mount Panorama? Describe it for the viewers.
Pretty nervous. It's just, it's one of those tracks where, especially in the mountain section, where you just kind of, you're trying to full send, and if you get just one little bit wrong, touch a curb, you'll just be in the wall, and and then the problem then is if you're sideways, then people are just going to keep on plowing into you, and that'll be over for a lot of people. So I can see that happening to somebody.
Well,
I'm just hoping that it's not me.
well, we found out last night what happens if all if 8 drivers go into the
Exactly.
S6 section without braking. But in relation to what's happening now, Power, the currently provisional pole leader, if this was qualifying, just said that this race isn't really about fast lap times, it's about survival. Would you agree?
Yeah, like it's going to be interesting just from a qualifying perspective, because you're going to want to get as high up the grid as possible, because you know those things that anywhere.
You
Like
do
the
not
first-
want to be in the back.
Exactly at the back. Well, maybe it's far back, then you can just make your way through. But yeah, that first lap is going to be a nightmare, and you want to kind of get as far up as possible. But yeah, it is going to be trying to survive as much as you can, and yeah, it's not going to be fun if you hit the wall early doors and then you're kind of nursing this car home the whole way.
I asked this question to Power because, and I asked it to Nairati, the question I'm about to ask you to Nairati as well. What is it like having a teammate that's in a different division? Like, Nairati obviously has Brees, you know Team on the Rush very well. What is it like having a teammate that's slower than you are?
Yeah, I find it enjoyable just because I can, like, if we do meet up on the weekend or anything like that, then I'll just try and help him out and try and show him lines or where he's going wrong or anything. So yeah, I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, it was nice to kind of do. I did a whole bunch of telemetry with Stoffco the other day, and it was great to kind of go through that and see where I was going wrong. But it's one thing looking at the telemetry and saying, hey, that's where I'm going wrong, and actually being able to do it.
Well, it's definitely worked. You're in the top 10 as it stands. You're almost in the top 5. But what can we expect out of Shooter McGavin this race? What can we expect out of you?
You can expect a really quick qualifying, and then for me to put it into the wall immediately. So
Just
that
not
seems to
even
be,
not even waiting for the mountain. Just first turn right into the wall.
yeah, it just seems to be my luck this season, is just kind of like qualifying right in the middle of the pros, and then immediately throwing it away. So I'm hoping that I can do a decent race this time and get a win. But yeah, we will see. Those walls are pretty close when you're driving through them.
All right, I will do. Shall I send you to your team channel, or am I sending you back to the ACC lobby?
Doesn't matter, your choice.
I'll send you back to the ACC lobby. Your teammate's not in there yet. Thank you very much, Shooter McGavin, for coming out and joining me on the broadcast booth. We will see you next time. Good luck in the race.
Thank you.
All right, with that being said, time slowly running out in this free practice session. We have less than 4 minutes to go. Mount Panorama, how many victims will it claim? Who will survive? Who's going to win this race? The betting favorites currently Stoffco, Power, and Saniga, all within 2.5 tenths of each other. Kerbal, Macklin, you round out the next 3 after that. Then you have McGavin, Negrati, Leung, and Braun rounding out the top 10 so far in the free practice session. Obviously, Power, Saniga, and Stoffco are the betting favorites. Anyone else is kind of like an underdog at this point. It's not a Party Pickles 1-2 right now. Not with Don Fossman currently 18th behind Malott. This is a new driver, someone I have not yet met. There must be a new driver. Well, they are in the amateur division. Yeah, they're definitely a new driver. Okay, yep, alright. Just got the report from... Alright, so... My bad from Macklin, so... Number 77, Kristen Kubalitz. I will probably butcher that name as much as I can. But Krizan, that's how we'll say his name in the meantime, number 77, is the amateur driver, number 77. He's new to DRL. This will be his first race, and it'll definitely be the hardest one as he opens up his DRL debut. Yellow flag came out. I don't know who retired, but Stavko's flying. He's not gaining or losing any time, but just as I say that, he's found 2/10. And just like that, he's lost a 10th. A little bit of rear drift from Stavko there. As that is the end of the free practice session. Soon we will be heading to qualifying, and it's going to be 15 minutes of absolute chaos. So stand by and get ready for an absolute qualifying. Saniga the GOAT, absolutely. Sadly, he was the runner-up in the Drivers' World Championship last year. See if Stavko can put in a little bit of an extra cushion on his already almost 2/10 lap time, and he will. He'll find a little bit of a cushion, and thus qualifying begins as drivers slam out of the pits, and I do believe that's going to be Burt Macklin out on track first, so we will ride on board with him, as is tradition in DRL. But he's in the Bonda. Just because he's in the Bonda doesn't mean he's the GOAT. If there are two GOATs in this category, Stavko and Saniga, and currently Stavko's winning that GOAT category due to having the championship in hand. As we ride on board with Burt Macklin, the Sandbag Syndicate, the only driver in DRL history not named Saniga or Stavko to win a race in DRL history. That makes him a bona fide DRL Hall of Famer. As we already have the first incident with Ricky Bobby coming out of the pits and causing a massive pileup. Take a look back at that. And he just causes a massive pileup because no one else can get through the yellow flag's wave. So we watch Macklin go through the S6 soon on replay. Saniga is right on his bumper as it stands right now. Macklin's not going to let him by, it seems. Brees is also back into the pits, same with Stavko. Just going back to look at his name real fast. Kristan's also still in the pits as well. Saniga begins to back off. That's Malott bringing out the white flag. And thus, ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes have already elapsed in qualifying, so the lap time is important to get here, and thus qualifying now begins. As drivers slow down to try and gain that crucial gap so their lap times don't get affected. Burt Macklin goes in through turn one. Turn one, you break around 75-50 meters. late brake, turn in for a late apex, use all available curve on exit, and then flat out through this first straight. And then you have a escape road there on your right-hand side for viewing, left hand if you're the driver. Brake about in the middle or to the end. Nick this inside curb. Don't try and go over it or else you'll lose all the lap time. Nick that outside curb, and thus in comes the mountain section where braking points and stuff just really don't apply. It's pretty much all based on feel. This section, depending on your setup and what car you're in, is flat out, as Macklin tags the wall quite heavily. Unknown if he'll have any damage from that. Manages to keep out of the wall there. Manages to nick the outside curb, and then in comes the S section where chaos and carnage may reign supreme, depending on who survives and who doesn't. As the S section is complete downhill, the Bentley boards, the bane of my personal existence, as Macklin drifts out and slaps the rear of it, and down he goes. You reach speeds of up to almost 300 kilometers an hour in this section. Nice high-speed right-hander in about 2 seconds time. 1, 2, nick the inside curve a little bit, brake at about the 150, 125. Try and straighten out this corner as much as you can. Burt Macklin with an absolute heater of a qualifying lap, breaking about the 100 meter board for the final turn. Careful, don't nick that inside curve, as Burt Macklin will set a time of 2:02. Saniga 2:01. Max Power, what can he do? I don't know who's ahead of Hermione. Oh, Zahara gets ahead of Hermione. Next across the line will be Hayes, and then after that will be Kerbal. So far, I think everyone has made their lap time stick as of right now. Next across the line will be Nairati. He'll place it 5th. Leung will be next across the line, as we'll have a nice big pack coming in now. Braun and Norris will be next across the line. Norris staying ahead next across the line. Balyut spins out. Puts it into the wall as all the other drivers cross the line now. Vossman nicks it. Breeze all the way in the back. Salas passes the line. Chez is next. Slaps at 13th. Next is going to be Shooter McGavin. We had him on earlier. Slaps at 7th. Next is going to be Stofko, but I think this is his outlap as he goes into the gravel. And he's probably going to go into the pits and get a new car. Ricky Bobby, what is he going to produce for lap time? Nothing, as his lap time was invalidated. Brees is also on an out lap. Same with Christian. I'm going to butcher that name as he goes deep in. So next we're going to follow back with Burt Macklin. Currently, Brees, Stofko, Bobby, Balyut, and Kristen yet to have set lap times. Macklin looking for some sort of improvement. He's going to find it. He's going to find about 2/10. Never mind, he's going to find about 1/10. Saniga's not going to find much. Power's going to find close to 5. Doesn't build the gap just yet. Zahara's going to find about 5/10. Next across the line is going to be Hayes. He's found about a full second. Kerbal, what can he produce? He gets into the top 3. Nairati, what is he going to be able to produce? He's found about 6/10. He's going to get into the top 5. Leung is going to be next across the line with a full second of time, and Haynes going to go 6th. Norris is going to be next across the line. No improvement for him as Fossman spins out. Number 19, that would be Polinick. He's about a second of improvement as he messes up the final corner. Number 37, that's Jansen. No improvement from him. No improvement from Chez. What about the shooter? What about McGavin? He's found a 1.5 seconds in hand. 1.6, that's going to be good enough ahead of Nairati, but 3 thousandths slower. then Macklin. Brees, Bobby, Balyut, and Christian still have yet to set lap times. And they're already running out of time. 2 minutes for your... 2 minutes... Basically 4 minutes to get around the track, and then you return to garage and do it again. So 4 minutes, so you get 3 chances, if that. Maybe 4 if you're lucky. Currently, Saniga leads, with no one being able to stop him in sight. Saniga putting in ever more gap right on the back of car number 77. Power lost a lot of his time in that final sector. Gets to about 6/10. Armani not going to find much extra time. What about Kerbal? Is Kerbal finding any extra time? Nope. What about Nairati? Is he finding time? Yes, he is. He's finding quite a bit of time. He's found another 5/10. That would get him ahead of both Macklin and McGavin if he can hold on to those tenths. He's lost it, though. He's lost that crucial 10th that he needs to get ahead of them. But he's not that far behind. Norris has found a buttload of time. And he's going to actually go top 5. 37 Jansen's found quite a bit of time, almost a full second. He'll move up to 12th. Chez has also found a full second. He'll move up to 13th. Fossman and Bobby almost nick each other there, but Fossman's also found a full second of time. He'll get ahead of him a lot. As most of the drivers are out on track right now, Brees and Stavko, the only drivers not to set lap times yet. Or sorry, Bobby and Balyut also have yet to set lap times as everyone's out on track right now. Stavko will get into the top 3, but not as fast as Saniga. He'll need to do more. Anybody close to the line and up on their time? Hermani's very close to the line and up on their time. One way to lose your lap time is to do that. Kerbal, lost the rear. We'll lose that time. Moving up the board was Hayes. Leon, no time. Norris, no time gain. Next with a valid lap is going to be Chez behind. He's not gaining, so we look all the way back. Fossman would be next. Fossman is the current driver that has a valid lap time. As Stavko crashes at the end of the S section, he'll return to the pits for one last go. Can Brees set a lap time? Can Balyut set a time? Nope. What about Brees? Still not yet. This is their basically almost final chances. They just got to get around to get a banker time in. And Fossman loses all that time. As Zahara gets out of the way. Three minutes left to go in qualifying. This is make or break time for a lot of the drivers. Braun. Not a lot of improvement, but improvement nevertheless gets him closer to Nairati. Kerbal so far finding about 2.5 tenths. Next that inside curb. He gained about 1/10 from that. This would put him ahead of Stavko. And he will get ahead of Stavko into the top 3. Leung is going to be next across the line with about 0.3 improvement. He'll get into the top 10. Norris, he'll find some improvement, get ahead of Burt Macklin. Can he set a valid time? Yes, he can. He's in the 19th. What about Brees? Brees just gets a banker time in. He's got 1 more lap to go. And that is it for Balyut. He's done for the session. If anybody's in the pits, they're done for the session. Whoever's out now can still complete their lap. Fossman's going to go again. Lott and Braun right side by side with one another. Ricky Bobby, the only driver not to have set a lap time yet. And he is going to be the only driver that will not set a lap time, as that's going to be it for him. Kerbal's not finding any extra time. Hermione is, though. And does he move? No, he does not. He's still got that chance to go. Saniga, he's got no improvement, but he has 1 more chance to do so. He will be it. Everyone else will not get to complete another lap. Saniga is the last one, so that is it for power. Unless he can somehow find 0.2 improvement, he's not going to improve his place anywhere. Stavko invalidates his lap, so the highest he's going to finish is 4th, and I think he's safe there due to everyone behind him not boxing. Hayes invalidates. What about Salas? Can he get ahead? No, he will not. As everyone else is in the pits, it seems. Brees isn't going to improve, neither is Stavko. What about Fossman? He's still good. He's up nearly over a second. That would get him close to Polinick. As long as he doesn't screw up the lap. Oh, for me it said Stavko invalidated, but either way, he finishes 2nd. Stavko, Fossman won't even get past him a lot. So that's as the order as it stands right now, and Saniga is flying. He's up almost half a second on his delta time. Can he get into the? If at this rate, he will get into the 2 flats. The 2 minutes. As you can see, this is your qualifying grid order. Because Kerbal's not going to improve. No one else that has crossed the line is going to improve. The only one who's going to improve is Saniga. As he loses about 1/10 in that section of the track. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our qualifying. Stavko gets it, or Saniga, sorry, gets into the 2 minutes. All Alright, folks, this is where the money and the power get made. This is where chaos will come to fruition. So we will start at the back now, as per new DRL tradition. Ricky Bobby did not sit a lap time in qualifying, but he is still on the grid. He sits in last, behind our newest DRL joinee in the amateur division, Christian Kubalik. I probably butchered that name, so I apologize in advance. He currently sits 24th in the Ford Mustang car, number 77. Braden Brees, we had him on earlier. And the 666 obviously not bringing him any luck so far this season. He struggled. As Power said before, this is going to be a race of survival. Let's hope he can survive long enough to be in a good enough position. Balut joins him for company on that row. A top 20 qualifying for him. And he's on the second last row, so an improvement nevertheless. He's hoping to survive long enough to get into that podium position. Don Fossman is in the row ahead of them. Currently Party Pickles trying to get another 1-2 as they are dominating the amateur division as it stands right now. But Malott is going to keep Don Fossman for company instead of Sanchez's teammate. Malott definitely no longer a part of the American Stooges as it so seems, as Rodriguez has moved into a reserve role, so it's up to Malott to get the points for the American Stooges. He's hoping to do so. He's currently in a good enough position to do that. Polonic is currently sitting in 16th in the McLaren. He's got Sanchez for company, the Party Pickle that's on his left. Polonic, the lowest qualified Pro-Am driver, but he's hoping to get some luck as he's hoping for collisions ahead of him. Same as Sanchez, the highest qualifying amateur so far this race. Let's hope being at the back might be their saving grace. Silas Jansen in the Clown Car Corporation, as he is a reserve, has decided to join us in Mount Panorama for the chaos that might ensue. He's got Jason Hayes for company in his Baby Pig Racing Mercedes AMG. He's had a good safe start to the season, as the break is next week, so we're hoping to see how that all runs out, as now it becomes a little difficult to identify cars. So on your left hand side in the all gold Ford GT3 is Grant Zahara in the team solo queue. He's had a good start in the Pro-Am division. He's currently sitting about middle of the pack, so and the person he needs to pass for a podium, the Latvian sensation Hermani in his sensational pickle Mercedes AMG, is right beside him to his left, so a podium position isn't out of the question for either of these drivers as they sit right beside each other. Trying to get a good view of everybody. Back to the helicopter. Spencer Braun is currently up next. He is the first driver into the top 10, and he is currently the lowest qualified pro as it seems to stand right now. But he's hoping to maybe get into like 4th or 5th, depending on collisions ahead of him, so we'll see how that goes. Alan Leung in the MA70 Esport, his teammate is in 2nd. He's in 9th. He's had a very wonderful Pro-Am campaign. His absolute domination, except for one driver that is ahead of him, so he's hoping to keep up that stretch. Now, Roddy, as we heard from him before, is no longer using VR. He's in the pancake mode. So, in 8th place qualification is definitely something that he will take. He's hoping to keep that success going and avoid the collisions that come with Mount Panorama. As we have 1 minute to go. Shane McGavin is shake and bake. His teammate is in sadly last, but he's up in 7th after a good qualifying performance. Burt Macklin, the Sandbag Syndicate. Frank Castle is not able to join us. He's not feeling very well. So we wish him all the best. So it'll be up to him to keep the Sandbag Syndicate going. Norris Yu, another top 5 qualifying for the rookie as his wonderful rookie campaign continues, looking to keep climbing up that pro standings. Kerbal, it's a Springfield Motorsport 2nd row lockout as Power is 3rd and Kerbal is 4th. Power, another top 3 qualifying as he's just absolutely dominating in the rookie class as it seems. And as always, it is Saniga Stavko 1-2, vice versa, doesn't matter. Saniga claims pole position, Stavko in 2nd in the Aston Martin. So as it stands right now, we have 5 seconds to go for race start. So, predictions down below, both in the Twitch comments and in YouTube. Who is going to win? Who is going to survive the Mount Panorama race? Stavko has a little bit of a late start. He wasn't ready. As everyone seems to go very at the 70 kilometers an hour. Who is going to survive? Get your beverage. Get your drink. Get a bib. Sit down. Relax. As DRL begins racing at Mount Panorama, Sanika gets to Stavko. Well, Jensen's going to get a drive-through for speeding off the race start. But all seems fine and dandy right now, as it seems as we have little bits of contact everywhere. But all seems to be well. The yellow flag is not being brought out yet. Sanika leads, followed by Stavko. Power. Burt Macklin is up after Kerbal has lost some places. Norris actually is spun out. So he was the one not advantageous to anything, but Jansen's got a drive-through, as it seems. All right, here we go, folks. Into the mountain we go. Thou shalt not fear no evil. As everyone looks to try and survive at least the first lap of this crazy mountain section. Leung's looking for the move on Nairati, who's defending vigorously, trying to catch up to Shooter, it seems. But alas, Nairati doing his defense well. As so far, Malott will actually get ahead of Fossman. Braun is right on the back of Leung. Looking to, there will be no overtaking in the mountain section. It would be an absolute disaster if somebody tried. Because trust me, folks, we have tried. So far as it stands, there's no yellow flags out right now. Everyone seems to be okay. No one's explicitly gotten destroyed yet. As Brees actually, as I say that, ends up sideways into the wall. Was there contact made? We're going to quickly look on the replay. Nope, he just lost the rear and spun out. Unfortunate for him. Jansen's going to have to serve his drive-through as well. Jansen, is he going to think about the move just yet? No, he's not. Kerbal's right on the back of Macklin, though. Macklin taking the inside and defending well. That might allow Kerbal to get a burst of speed, but alas, he's not going to be able to. So he's going to have to stay right behind and just wait. Jansen doesn't go into the pits yet to serve his drive-through. He's going to wait a little bit longer. Everyone's already starting to spread out. Zahara on the back of Hayes. He's gotten sufficiently enough alongside. Who's going to be last on the brakes? So far, I believe Hayes wins that battle. Kerbal gets ahead. Shooter saw an opportunity, went for it, but got shut down by Burt Macklin. Burt Macklin seemingly struggling around the mountain section, at least through that section. Norris into the pits already. Is he going to try undercut them massively? As Macklin's starting to get away, Nairati's still defending. Braun right on the back of Leung. No overtake. There's overtaking allowed in the mountain section, but you better be doing it carefully. And it better be pretty obvious that he's not going to be able to keep that position. As Norris Box is going for the undercut of the massive undercuts. Zahara still on the back of Hayes. A better exit on every one of these straights will prove more valuable. As it stands right now, no one is... Zahara on the straights on against Hayes is just a massive clean. As Zahara goes up the inside, they make a little bit of contact. I don't know how the stewards will rule that. But Hayes will come up behind, but Fossman, but Ches is actually going to lose. Is actually going to get ahead of Hayes here. Salas also right behind. Is yet to serve his drive-through penalty. Hayes Up the inside, nope, defended well. Fossman loses the place to Polinick. Braun, Leung, and Nairati. The battle that is so far standing the test of time. As Balyut spins out, it seems. Oh my goodness, Jays, Hansen, Ches. Norris back into the pits again. Norris hoping for some retirees behind in front of him, I guess. The white flag laves who Braun lost out on a few places. He was behind Leung and Nairati, but he's now down. I saw the white flag, so I thought, maybe, you know, something happened, but nope. Yes, I was right. Braun is now behind Harmani and Zahara. Nairati right on the back of Shooter right now. He's right on his rear. Oh, they almost touch. Leung seeing an opportunity. He's gonna go for it. Nairati defends the middle. Leung late braking. Nairati defends it well. Hermani's now right on the back of this battle. Fossman, Polinick. Fossman's gonna get back ahead. Jansen now serves his drive-through penalty. Leung's actually going to get ahead of Nairati post turn 1. Nairati thinking about it yet? No. Not yet. Oh, and Hermani goes slamming into the wall. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he saved it just in time, but that looked really close. As Polinick and Fossman keep dueling at it. Polinick going deep and wide. Tags the wall. A very advantageous overtake, it seems. He gives up the place to Fossman. Hayes has gotten past Ches. Nairati still on the back of Leung as it stands. He currently sits 8th. Balyut is in the pits now. Norris still staying in the pits. He must have massive damage if he's been in the pits for this long. It's all about getting the better exit. And looks like Nairati, I think, got that. Breeze is spun again in the same position. Can't really get a good view of him. There he is. Nope, he's got to do another turn. Zahara and Hermani back again. Heated rivals and once again fighting each other. Jansen and Driver. Jansen looks like he's gotten ahead here. Looks like he's made it stick. Polinick and Fossman just keep roughhousing with one another. Macklin looking for his spot back against Kerbal. So far, this race hasn't been the most chaos as I've wanted it to. So far, everyone has seemingly just gotten around just fine. No one's exploding yet. Fossman and Plonick continue to keep the battle close. As other battles on the track, Zahara and Hermione, Macklin, Kerbal. Jansen, Bobby's also becoming a very quick, tight race. Oh! Heavy collision for Jansen and Bobby. Driver's going to benefit from both of those. Thank you very much, he says. Brees is also coming up on this very quickly. But they will have gotten going in time before he gets down there. Oh, Bobby's struggling to get around. Brees is going to benefit from that. Zahara right on the back as Bobby is unable. As Zahara's going to go try and round the outside as that is Kerbal in the middle of the road. Oh! Unfortunate collision as that's going to kick Braun Zahara out. As that is going to require everyone to run back to the pits. My God, Kerbal was in the middle of the road. And Kerbal is gone. So it's up to the Springfield Motorsport of Power to try and win this race. Zahara had absolutely nowhere to go. And Braun was occupying the space that he needed to go. I wanted my chaos, and well, I got it there and then some, I guess. Polnick and Fossman. Oh, speaking of Fossman, there he goes. Glad I caught that. And he is facing the wrong way. He's going to have to wait for Balyut to pass him, then he can go. As he yellow flag waves. Hey, there's a driver that's gone off, says the marshal. Glad I caught that. That was a massive collision between Kerbal. Thankfully, Braun did not get the worst of that. But Zahara and Bobby both have massive damage that will need to be repaired. This is the closest battle, Leung and McGavin. Fossman pits. His tires and his everything is just hurt. Same with driver, he pits as well. Leung on the back of Shooter. As I said, this would be the battle for first. Currently, as it stands, there are no other battles. It's just McGavin, Leung. So we'll take a look at Saniga. And Stavko's behind him by about 2.4 seconds. Stavko takes fastest lap from him. Zahara comes out. Power, the only Springfield Motorsport remaining. He's on his own. Burt Macklin there behind him, trying to attempt to catch him. And you got Shooter. He's being chased by Polinick. And you got Nairati. And you have Hermione. Then you have Braun. I'm staying in this camera the entire time so far. Then you have Hayes. Ches, who's just sitting outside the top 10. I don't think Malot's going to get in time for me to get to the camera. Then you got Malot. I was able to keep it going the entire time. That's sick. Politics gonna box. Leon doing his best to try and catch McGavin. Oh, no, that's Paul. I was like, oh, someone's dropping down my order. Nope, that is just somebody in the pits. This is the only battle as it stands right now. Leung and McGavin. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what happened there at currently 2858 in terms of incidences. Oh my goodness. And a verified massive collision. And take a look at the replay between Kerbal and Zahara. I don't know how Braun survived that. It looked like an absolute massive collision as Leung has finally gotten ahead of... Wait, where'd McGavin go? Oh my goodness, McGavin has had it off. We must have missed it. We'll look back on it on replay in about 2 seconds. Yeah, he had it off. Oh no, that's incredibly unfortunate. As Nairati comes into the pits. Yeah, but McGavin's lost out to Hermione, Braun, and Leung. But McGavin's still right on the back of Braun, so plenty of time for that to go down. Stavko slowly catching Saniga. Oh, and that's a tag from McGavin. He's got a lot of front end damage. Hayes gonna look to try and reap the reward from that. And he's gonna reap the reward just fine as McGavin is gonna struggle his way back to the pits. Ches might be able to get a top 10 involved as he will, because Nairati's already boxed, but if he can get ahead of McGavin, he'll be in a very good spot. Hermione's getting a little squirrely. Alright, we'll come back to this after. Apparently Norris and Macklin collided. I want to see that. Oh no. Just sadly bumper cars. What happened to this replay here between 4 cars? Oh, Paris missed his braking zone, it seems. Tax Polinick. I don't know how Zahara's involved in that. Unless he hits Hayes. Oh, that's 2 separate incidences, so dudes can take a look at that and see that's 2 separate incidences. Ches has gotten ahead of McGavin, mostly because McGavin pits for damage. And hopefully a first set of tires. Nairati's back out on track after serving his pit stop. He's currently sitting 14. Stavko, who had the gap at 1.2 at his earliest, is now down to 2.2. Oh, Braun right on the back of Hermione, it seems. He's trying to look into maybe overtaking the mountain through the S. Nope. Blue's flags being... Oh, Hermione spins out. Braun takes him. He actually spins him right around. He actually may have helped him a little bit as the blue flags were waving for Ricky Bobby, so we'd be interested to see if that's what caused Hermione to lose control, but I doubt it. As we'll see Hermione probably go into the pits this lap. No other drivers within the 1 second gap as Ricky Bobby pits. The Latvian sensation does not go into the pits yet. Interesting, after that spin, I'm surprised he's not. Sheena McGowan's coming out of the pits, it seems. He's ahead of Leung. He's about to be risked being lapped as blue flags are being shown for him. Narani and Leung had a collision. Oh, that's nothing. It was Malott Fossman. That was an aggressive overtake, but an overtake nevertheless, it seems. Brees now in the pits. Still no drivers within 1 second of each other. It's a little... So far the only chaos was Kerbal sadly bowing out of this race because he was in the middle of the road. Young in the box now. Now Braun's coming in for his pit stop. Hermione stays out. So does Hayes. What about Ches? Is Ches gonna think about boxing yet? Malott. And Polinick, it seems. Nope, that's not a battle for position. Ches comes into the pits. What about Malott? Malott's also going to come into the pits. Polinick, who is already pitted, is just unlapping himself. So Nairati and Jensen are going to be fixes. Nairati being shown blue flags for Stavko. As he tags the wall. Did he take Stavko with him? Nope, thankfully he did not. Nairati, there goes Nairati back along. So a chance to get ahead of all of them sadly passes by. Ches is coming out of the pits now. Saniga just gets by him. Stavko has boxed now. Brees getting close to Polinick. Breeze in the amateur division in a podium position. That's where he said he wanted to be after he tags the wall a few times for good measure. Roddy's going to get ahead of him a lot, but how much damage has he incurred with that spin? He's 30 seconds back from Ches. Thankfully, no other collisions occurred there. And out comes Malott. And out comes Stavko. Hermione and Hayes come in for their pit stops. Oh no, Roddy. The tire's wearing out. Has another spin. Sheena McGavin's going to get back ahead. Leon is going to make it past both the drivers in the pits, Hermione and Hayes. Jensen now in the pits as well. Is Braun going to be able to get past Hermione and Hayes? Yep. They're probably repairing a bit of damage. Ches might not be in a position to get past Hermione. Now Roddy's had another off, it seems, but he's off on his own, so... Next for company behind him will be Malott. He's currently getting blue flagged by Stavko, but not much Malott can do in this section as Hayes has a 30-second stop go. Now Roddy has a lot of front-end damage. And there goes Stavko. Unfortunate for Hayes, as that is a podium position might be claimed. As now Hayes tags the wall. So Saniga, Power, and Macklin have all stopped. Where is Stavko? Alrighty, pulling to the left side. He's going into the pits to repair that front damage. And where is Saniga gonna be? He is gonna be ahead of Stavko. Leon was the next person that was at risk to pass either Macklin or Power, but that doesn't look like that's going to occur. So thus no changes in the order. Hayes with a 30-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. That is the only other change so far. You on the back of the newest amateur driver. Hayes into the pits now. We'll see where McGavin comes out. Blue flag's being shown as he hits the wall. Oh my goodness. Balyut's going to get ahead of him. Blue flag's being shown. Braun's going to get ahead. McGavin's going to get a Hayes and take that second spot on the third spot on the podium, as Hayes can't do nothing but sit and wait. With 15 minutes left to go, all drivers have taken their mandatory pit stop. So far, folks, that seems to be it, barring any more chaos. But so far, all seems to be fine and dandy in the top order, barring Kerbal and Zahara's incident. Power being in pretty much no man's land. Racing all alone, but he's racing all alone in a podium position. That's a bit of a damage for the driver. For Christian, he's got a little bit of a damage there. Fastest lap of this race currently is going to Saniga. Fossman is catching up quite a bit to the newest driver who does have damage. So far, no yellow flags. Norris the only one sitting in the pits after his first incident as Fossman clangs the wall. This is a fight for position. They'll clang off the wall for Christian. Bossman should easily get him here. As off he goes. Breeze has actually gone ahead of Polinick here. Polinick having an off. As that's going to allow Breeze to move into 13th. Still third in the amateur. What? Brees is gone. Brees has actually just vanished. In a podium position. Brees has just vanished. Oh my goodness. Brees in a podium position has just vanished into thin air as Team on the Rush just can't catch a break. So far, Balute is catching Polinick. Does Polinick have damage? No. He seems to be okay. As Narati sadly DNFs. Brees was on Brees was on the move for a podium position and he just disappears, he just vanishes. Beljut at this rate is going to get a podium position. Barring any more craziness. But at this rate, it looks like the craziness might end. I think that'll be it. Sanika's way ahead. Stavko's way ahead. Power's way ahead. I think the craziness is over. As Zahara is now gone. I think that might have had to do with the collision with Macklin. My goodness. Spicy, spicy, spicy. This Mount Panorama, as we started with 22, we now have 18. Currently, the closest battle on track is Chezen against Hermione. Chez is caught really up to Hermione. Chez is about to be in the... is an amateur about to finish in the top 10. Maybe... oh no! Just as I say that, Chez nails the wall! He might be okay. As he just needs to oh, Hermione has significant damage, that's why. And Salas, who's not that far behind, is gonna get the podium. Can we get any more changes? Hayes is a bit far back. But Hayes now moves into 4th in terms of the Pro-Am division. As Hermione just sits in the pits and waits for his car to be repaired. And that's Polinick into the wall. Oh no! Beljut moves up another spot. So will Fossman. What more chaos can we get? Can we get Stavko into the wall? Oh! And just as I say that, Sanika's ended up in the wall! As Stavko completely misses the corner. But Stavko's now going to lead this race otherwise. Polinick has stopped and ended up in the garage. Saniga now has to find that pace and get ahead, because I saw that Saniga invalidated it. I wondered why. Well, guess what, folks? I know why now. Oh, the braking boards got destroyed as Hermione comes back out on the track. Who else did we lose? Did we lose Polinick? Yep, we've lost Polinick as well. So that's another DNF. That is Leung who's spun out. Actually, he's just frozen in the middle of the track. Oh, Jesus. I don't know why he was stopped in the middle of the track. That seems so strange. As Braun now moves into a top 5 position. Lang was just frozen. I don't know what that was all about, but Braun moves into the top 5 position. Chaos starting to reign supreme again. 5 drivers DNFing, 2 on the rush, 1 team solo queue, 1 Polarin, and I don't know who, and 1 Springfield Motorsport. What else could happen? Next thing you tell me, Kerbal and Macklin's gonna be in the wall. As Power said, consistency is key, but I don't think he's gonna be able to catch Saniga. As Stavko and Saniga are both struggling around the track. Both probably carrying damage. With all the drivers struggling to just finish this race, finish the track, finish out this race, where survival has been key. Ches is going to finish in the top 10, barring a collision with a wall or something. So as it stands right now, Stavko, Saniga, and Power finishes up both the overall top 3 and the pro top 3. Leung, McGavin, Jansen is the Pro-Am top 3. As I say, Jansen smacks a wall, but luckily will stay alive. And then Ches, Malott, and Belleute, despite Brees having a so close podium, but a lost connection to the server will ruin that opportunity. Power is catching Saniga though. Saniga is carrying damage, and quite significant damage, so as Power tags the wall himself a little there. Now, I say this one final time. I think that's it. I think that is the end of the chaos meter. As Stavko begins the final lap.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap.
Just
Do all you can.
bring it home. That's all that needs to be done. Just bring it home. Safe and sound. We'll take a look from the helicam. Oh, I can't show the replay now because Zahara and them are not here. I can't show it anymore, they're both gone. Fossman's actually catching Belleute. So that podium for Belleute is in danger. And as I say that, driver's also into the wall. Oh my goodness. this won't be it for them. Balyut's gonna miss the braking zone and go wide. He can't keep that position. Did he smack the wall? Oh, he spun. Oh, that's gonna be, I think, qualified as a dangerous re-entry as McGavin's chasing now Ches. Fossman now in the podium position instead of Balyut. McGavin wants Ches. Ches has damage. McGavin doesn't. McGavin, who started with damage at the beginning of this race, now finds himself back in the top 10, trying to ruin the amateur moment.
The leader has finished the race.
As Stavko wins and survives Mount Panorama to take the victory. Hermani just crashes into the wall. He's done. Same with Saniga. He's finished this race. Who does Power have on the back of him? Oh, that's car number 44. Oh, he's had a bit of an off Power has because Macklin's right behind him, but alas, that won't matter. His driver, Hayes, they all finished the race. As we now focus on McGavin and Ches. This is the battle. This is what's going to end this race. Ches goes off a bit wide, and that's going to allow McGavin to take it as he's going way too fast. Almost clips the wall, but survives. Still, a top 10 for any amateur is an incredible moment. As McGavin is going to run away with the race. Leung going to be next across the line. As this race now thankfully ends. As Jansen and Bobby are kind of tussling with one another for the sake of no reason other than fun. Leung finishes the race in 6th, wins in the Pro-Am division. McGavin getting 2nd place on the podium after having a bunch of damage to start. Ches with an absolute masterclass finds himself in the top 10 in the amateur division with the win. Balyut's going to be next across the line. The podium just slipping from his grasp at the end, but still a 4th place in the amateur division is nothing to scoff at, as it now comes down to just Jansen and Bobby. Bobby will cross the line, and so will Jansen to complete the podium picture. Stavko wins, followed by Saniga and Power, both in the pro and overall top 3. Macklin and Braun round out the top 5. Leung, McGavin, Ches, Jansen, Hayes round out the top 10. Malott, Fossman, Balyut, Hermani, and the newest amateur, car number 77, round out the top 15. Bobby round out the finishing drivers. Polonic, Zahara, Breeze, Nairati, and others have sadly DNF'd from this race. Thank you all so much for joining us. It has been a wonderful day in Mount Panorama. Chaos did reign supreme, but whoever survived go the spoils. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back in 2 weeks, as we are breaking next week. Thank you very much, and have a good day.